Okay.
Do it.
Yes.
So, hi guys, welcome back. We're going to talk about Star Wars today, and I'm already, look, I got my Force Lightning generator right here.
That's true.
And I've got my Elcars scanning my blood cells for midichlorians right here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
But Stuart,
So do something a little different, I guess, today.
but most important, Stuart, I have the high ground.
Oh, nice. Nice switch.
I did that as a joke.
Hello
I
there.
very last minute joke. Hoping you noticed. But I have the high ground, Stuart. Don't do it, Anakin. Don't do it, Stuart. Don't do it. But no, you always have the high ground, Stuart. I just meander at, hyperspace level 6 while you have hyperspace level 7. Whatever that means.
Sure.
Your chymidium. Is there what's the thing that the fuel in Solo? That now there's fuel for hyperspace. It was never a thing until it was a thing.
Oh,
Unobtainium.
yeah. No.
That's a thing.
Is it Hyperium?
See, exactly. It's something
No.
very like that. Star Wars Solo fuel. Coaxium.
Yes.
Oh,
Coaxium.
That's a Star Trek thing. Coaxial drive.
Anyway.
Hi guys. And look, there's not even any Trek in this screen. Fleetyard's born, man. Fleetyard's.
It's got Star Wars rating, yeah. Arabesh, or whatever it's called. So, yeah, we're going to talk about episodes 1 and 2 of Obi-Wan.
Yeah. It's exciting because there's a lot to tell. I've kind of avoided reviews, I guess. I sort of watched it, thought about it, moved on to other things. I made time in my day to watch it, which is not like me. I've not done that for Halo for all of the weeks in between. But I look forward to watching those, I guess, as a more of a movie experience when I get around to it. But I'll start sharing and see who joins in.
Okay. 48 people here, which is awesome. 29 likes. Hit that like button, guys. And, yeah, if you want to join the channel, please click that join button, see what the options are for helping us on a monthly basis. But if you want to super chat, as you can see, Christian Montgomery's already super chatted, so I will read that when Samuel gets back. But it's a good way to support the channel and show that you want us to keep doing this kind of thing. We appreciate it. Plus, we want to hear what you guys think as well. So we do read them all. Also, there is links down below to Teesprings and TeePublic. We just added a new TeePublic shirt the other day. Check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And if you want to add it to your cart and wait for the next sale, TeePublic does sales a couple times a month, so I'll let you know when the sale is, and you guys can go and save yourself some money. But check out the links now while you can, and grab yourself some cool stuff. This is the way. Now, if you want to support us on a monthly basis in another way, you can always come over to Patreon/Trekyards, do it there, or you can even send us a PayPal at trekyards@hotmail.com. We'd really appreciate that as well. Just let us know in the regular chat that you sent it, and we'll read your comment or question via the email. So, lots of ways to support the channel and have us read your thoughts on the air, because we want to engage with you guys. So. Out of our depth, eh, Matt? Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Look, Samuel's back.
Hello.
Hello.
Just going to do a poll.
Oh, Fleetpot, put in the TeePublic store, not the Teespring store link. TeePublic store is the one with the new shirt. But thank you for sharing the link. All right. Thank you. There it is. Thank you, Fleetbot.
Fun idea for a poll.
A poll.
He's his favourite Obi-Wan quote over these.
Oh, hello there. Yeah. Gotta admit, kind of low energy today, so
Oh.
yeah. Glad we're just gonna be
Happy birthday!
glad we're gonna be loitering around Tatooine for most of it.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Everyone wish my birthday. Drunk Live coming soon, because that'll be good.
Indeed. So I assume everybody here has seen Kenobi. If not, spoilers will be ahead, so just be cautious.
Yes.
This is a wretched hive of scum and villainy. You must be cautious.
Okay, so and one of the catchphrases, there's not enough space, so I had to truncate it slightly. So hopefully you guys will still get it. Yes.
Ah, yeah.
Out of those four, which one do you go like the most?
So there's a poll up there, which what you like the most out of from Obi-Wan? Hello there. Only a Sith deals in absolutes, which in itself is an absolute. These are not the droids you're looking for.
So...
Yeah. I have the high ground, Anakin. All right, so we got 2 super chats. Christian Montgomery, $2. What's the matter, Obi-Wan? Chicken? Please cameo. Yeah. And Fleetpaw throws in $2. Hi, Sam. Been a while since I've seen you live. LOL.
Been and done things. So, shit, what do you think of Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, episodes 1, 2, and after you say your general thoughts, how does it compare to enjoyment of Boba Fett and Mandalorian?
My general Kenobi thoughts.
Wrong show, Stuart. That was Rebels.
Oh, gotcha.
And or Clone Wars. Yes.
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I like learning more about the Inquisitors and seeing them on screen finally is awesome. So, pretty badass. Didn't expect a young Leia and Alderaan, but it's good to see Jimmy Smits back as her dad. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. That's all I can say. I'm looking forward to more. How it stacks up to Boba Fett and Mandalorian. I think Mandalorian's better, in my opinion, because it's got more of a punchier vibe to it. But it's kind of on par with Boba Fett. You know, a lot of people have been complaining that, another one on Tatooine. Well, they started on Tatooine, but I'm not sick of seeing Tatooine at all. So, it's an important place in Star Wars. So, no, I think it's definitely as good as I expected it to be, and it's only 6 episodes long, this one, something like that.
It's 3 movies.
So, yeah. Well, they were going to do a movie based on this idea, and then they decided to do this instead, which I think is a much better idea. Yep. So,
a lot more story.
Yeah. How about you? What did you think of it?
No, I enjoyed it a lot. I very much carved out the time because I said to someone, I've been waiting for this for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, of all the shows, it's like, this is the story I want to see more. I know that they had full scripts and they got thrown out. They had, with Maul being the opponent and all these sort of things, and they were thrown out because Favreau and team, because that was made more under Kathleen Kennedy's rule, and as we know, she kind of drove Star Wars into the dirt of production quality. And then Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni took over all the television stuff and raised the bar, and so they came in and sort of said, no, and sort of helped restructure it all to fit in their universe, which obviously has worked clearly. So that is good, and it's fun to see how the actors. Now, Ewan McGregor's wanted it for this entire time, and he's joked many a time now that he's lied for years. He signed on like 6.5 years ago, and everyone asked him, "Would you do it?" He's like, "I mean, if they came to me, I probably would love to, but they haven't come to me yet." So he's been lying for over half a decade. So finally, I had to actually see him on screen. He's not really in very many films ever. He's actually doesn't done much as an actor in the grand scheme. He's done some iconic stuff, but not much beyond that per se. Less than you think. He made such a cultural impact, and so seeing him in this role again was really, really nice. And I will take any minute of him just being the character again. It was very nice to see, and every time they cut away to someone else, I enjoyed it, but the level of how much immersion I had was variable depending on the scene, because some of the shots were just this is just people in a desert. Like, the Star Wars-ness wasn't too much. I get the context, fine, but every time I go back to him, he is Star Wars, so it allowed you to kind of keep that whatever in. But I found episode 2 was more dense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I was going to enjoy it more. I don't know if I did, and we'll get into that later, I'm sure. But you definitely need both together. Because if you end episode 1, it wouldn't be as satisfying. And at 2, I had to watch episode 3. But I don't have episode 3. So I'm very excited to see more. Very, very excited to see more.
Yeah, NZ Fade says, but Kathleen Kennedy has her mitts all over this. She's credited as a producer. Well, Alex Kurtzman's credited as producer on Prodigy and Lower Decks, and very little input. That's his position.
And Brian Fuller's still a producer on Discovery, even though he hasn't done Discovery, because he got that originally from the original, or created by, even though he's nothing to do with the show. No, this is you can tell it's not a Kathleen Kennedy show because it's quality.
Ooh, harsh.
Mm-hmm. Well, she was never good at that stuff. I mean, that's not where she came from. Why would she be? You know?
Yeah.
But I enjoy it more than the other shows? I mean, they're so different you can't compare them directly. Mandalorian is an episodic with a serialized format. This is a serialized, broke up into chapters.
Yeah.
So until you see the entire story, you don't know. And obviously, I'm hoping that we get good Vader stuff, good Anakin stuff. I'm hoping for Force Ghost Anakin. I'm hoping for all these big elements that could be really cool, but they have to come in later. You know, I'm hoping to see a Force Ghost Anakin and a split personality with Vader. You know, that was a concept in Force Awakens I liked. You know, see that duality. You know, he can Force talk to Anakin and he's in his normal suit. Well, I don't know about you, but that first scene, I hope we go back to it. I was assuming that in the very first scene is a flashback to the 66, which could be very emotional because it's like, ooh, these guys did it in live action, animated for 12 years. They know how to do it. I was assuming we'd see Hayden walk in as Anakin and butcher people, like hardcore kill, and they'd be like, wow, he's not aged a day in 20 years. Like, well, no, because they de-aged him. He's not that much, but like I was assuming we were going to see him as Anakin, just murdering people as part of the initial scene to kind of, because he walked into the temple and then doesn't do anything. So I was kind of disappointed we didn't see him massacre people. You know, those younglings have been waiting 20 years to get massacred. Bring that youngling kid in. He said his line, have him be another youngling, but an older youngling, because he's now 20 years older. Have Anakin kill him in Kenobi. You didn't kill him 20 years ago, now kill him playing a different character 20 years later. You know, finish off that saga that George started.
Yeah.
Not that I often want kid massacring in Star Wars, but it made sense, so.
Thraxker says, do they get credit even if they don't actually work on it? Yes.
Because it's contracts.
It's like a pyramid team. You got the president at the top, then you got your producers and your executive producers, and then they branch off to the showrunners, and the showrunners run the show, essentially. So their names are still in the credits. So, yes.
Well, there's even stories in Star Trek where a writer writes a script, someone else comes in, basically changes almost all of it. But because it's still the same basics of that story, even if almost none of the dialogue remains, that first writer's credit is the main writer, because they were legally, that was how they were hired and written. And so you don't actually know often, we're talking to a scriptwriter right now, and I had to be careful with him saying, well, which ones did you write, which ones were tweaked from your version, because then you have your baby and then it gets changed. So I was clear to ask those questions, they're important questions to ask.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I was going to say yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sean O'Sullivan, €2.
Thank you.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. It's true.
Tatooine does all. I don't know about you, but this felt like a far more expensive Tatooine than Boba.
I can see why you'd say that. Yeah, didn't think about it, but yeah.
Like it felt more like a movie. Boba felt more like a TV show with some scenes of movie. Just something about. I know it was filmed obviously earlier than the pandemic. It had to be obviously because it was. That helps a lot. You know, even 5 months of time. But this, I would. You know, if this was edited down to a movie length, I wouldn't think it wasn't a movie. For some of the city stuff, in the next episode is a bit broad, where that's an LED wall. There's the edge. There's some people, but some of it was very dense. But I mean, you could easily cut this into a movie. I think it would fit well. I mean, there's too much layer stuff for it to be a movie. That stuff's not as important in the movie, but you want that stuff overall.
George Mangrum, $5.
George.
I only wanted to see Grogu escape the massacre. Got nothing. I know.
Yeah.
I was expecting some kind of reference to it as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Thraxer, I thought the same thing when I saw that first scene, but yeah, it is what it is.
If you're not in America, it's not as much of a thing. I mean,
Exactly.
you know, and that will not be a thing in 20 years. This will still be a thing. So but hopefully in later flashbacks. I don't, because that first scene wasn't powerful enough by itself to justify it being in there. Do you know what I mean? It's like a lady just dies in a corridor. It's not particularly a good scene to set it up by itself. So I'm assuming we're going to see more of those younglings. Because I assume he's going to meet a youngling later on in the season, and that'll be one of the kids from that scene that escaped. I'm assuming that'll be a side story. Otherwise, I don't. It wasn't big enough, and they have money to burn, especially as it was all green screen, it was all CG, and they just throw in more massacres.
It was nice when the kids ran though, and then you got the wide shot of like all the Jedi. Yeah, that was good.
It's just so dumb though. I don't think 5 troopers can't kill a Jedi. Like, the point of them killing the first time, I was surprised because they can just go. The Jedi's facing that way, shoot him in the back, he's dead. But if you're doing man-to-man combat, 4, deflect, dead. So you can need the massive numbers because they fought droids, hundreds of droids in theory. So I wish they had a bit more scope with that, but that's there's also bad Jedi. I mean, the Librarian Jedi probably aren't going to be able to take on 10 stormtroopers unlike Mace Windu, etc. Yes, I know Reva was, but more of that because it wasn't interesting enough. But yeah, so what stood to you then? What was the thought of the what sort of grabbed you sort of off the top of the head sort of thing? As like a cool visual or a cool thing?
Let me think here. Like I said, that wide shot of the Jedi taken out or getting taken out was a nice addition. In the first episode, though, I really did enjoy the big. I don't know if it's a sand shark or what it is that they're cutting up. That was kind of quite interesting. Salted meat production.
I'm kind of surprised.
But that visual was kind of interesting.
Kind of surprised he never got called out for stealing the meat each time.
It's probably maybe part of his contract that he gets to do that because it's quite obvious that he does it. So
you think they have contracts? The guy got half his money and got said "F you, you're taking it." These guys are slaves. I mean, paid slaves.
Yeah, but I mean, they were probably allowed to take that small little bit home each day if they want.
Maybe.
No, General Grievous, I did.
Yes. But it was. I would hope. I would like to think that we'd see a Grogu cameo somewhere. It seems like such an obvious time to see those cross promotions. You would think.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah. I don't know. This adds weight to a few other things in Star Wars, even going back to 77. It adds weight to the whole "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." Mm-hmm. Leia asking him for help.
Yep. The uncle that saved her when she was young. Yeah.
It also kind of adds a little weight to Luke, his depression and withdrawal. Because it's 10 years and Obi-Wan is just staying hidden. He's not helping anybody. I'm glad he GPS marked his lightsabers because finding those in a desert would be rough.
Well, I think
it's probably a Force connection.
Yeah, I think that goes beyond all things.
Yeah, I know. I just thought that was funny.
Although Joseph says, I didn't notice that the black girl in the first scene was Reva. Well, I didn't notice the colour of their skin in the first scene, so I didn't pick out one black girl and think that's a black girl from later on. Why would I think that? And I didn't hear him say, Reva, you are scum! You'll be scum your whole life. So that's cool, but why would I pick that up? I didn't notice any genders or races of any of them.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that till just now, though. That people are talking about it. I didn't get the connection.
Yeah. Let me look now. That's a cool idea. Oh, there's no I can't tell from the screen caps if there are going to be black people. I agree. It was really interesting to see. There's obviously a big disconnect of him in every film because he has 2 different characterizations. Master Jedi, stabby, kill, vroom, 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 and old guy that doesn't even want to do anything really. How the hell does he become one to the other? And so it's very powerful to see him refuse every test, testament of faith that he ever believed in, because that must hurt him in the same way it hurts us to watch it. You know, in fact, I don't know if it was intentional. I don't know if it's intentional, but it's kind of like they took a playbook from the Picard show. Let's bring our hero back. He's much older. He's depressed. He's sad. He's living ostensibly alone. But for some reason, he didn't feel as sad because he rises to it. It helps he's only in his 50s, not his 80s. But it's interesting. It's kind of vaguely some parallel. But the fact that he was still... I don't know. I would have liked to have seen one more heroic thing from him in the first episode, but that would have... The point is he's broken himself, you know? Imagine not being yourself for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, tricky.
Even when he first uses the Force, I'm like, just lift her up like an inch in the alleyway to prove you're a Jedi. But I get why he didn't. But at the same time, I just would have. And then when he finally does use it, it's like he hasn't used it in 10 years. You got to work those muscles. It just seems like, oh, that was hard. So, and even running across the rooftop, I'm like, just grab her with the Force and like hold her, like, you know, move her to the next building or something. But
I heard from a reviewer that he lost the ability to use the Force. So that, I mean, so I was kind of, that could have been played either way. So
did he have his Force usage card revoked because he didn't renew it? Like,
there are other Force users in other mediums that lose the connection for one reason or another. They have to find it again. This happens. It's not a big deal. But just not through practice is fine. So, but the thing is, it made those moments all the more satisfying. Not lighting his lightsaber at the end of episode 2 means when he does finally do it, it'll be hella satisfying.
It's not even his lightsaber. He took Luke's, or he took Anakin's lightsaber with him.
Oh, really?
There was 2 in the box.
He took
One
Anakin's?
was Anakin's. Yeah, I don't know why he took Anakin's. I can stand to lose this one maybe. I don't need it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, he took Anakin's lightsaber, and I don't know why.
So I know at the end you see him with it on his belt.
Yep, it's Luke's. Well, Anakin's. General Grievous, $2. Just letting the other Jedi get killed was rough.
That's Obi-Wan's.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Look in the box.
No, I'm looking because Anakin's is because that's Luke's from 3, but Anakin's looks different. Because I have Luke's because Luke's is Anakin's, and that's Obi-Wan's. I have because they've got the black.
I don't know. It looked like the one. It looked like Luke's from the first.
No, it's because it's got the top bit. Because if you look at the absolute top, it's got that 4 ribbing thing, whereas Luke's is flat on the back. That would have been cool if he had took Anakin's, but that's Obi-Wan's. But what a moment!
So what are the 2 ones in the box then?
No, there's Anakin's and Obi-Wan's, but he's leaving Anakin's because it's not his.
Oh, I thought okay.
But that's the thing though. That would have been a cool idea if he took Anakin's, because then if he got captured, they wouldn't know what Jedi he is. But also, that's not your lightsaber, so it's a bit weird.
I swear it's the one he gives him in Star Wars, but.
Ooh. But that is a bit weird though. That he has that great jacket move. It's like, yes, this lightsaber. Don't look at this. We're like, for the audience. It's like, God, hide it. Don't have it on your belt.
Yeah.
Like, have it in a backpack or something. It's harder to grab. But yeah, but it's satisfying to not have a lightsaber light up at the end of 2. Because he can't beat this Inquisitor after 10 being rusty. He can't. That's clearly not what he can do. But we know from Hayden that they do actually have a lightsaber fight at some point in the series. Okay, that'd be interesting to see. I don't know. I kind of wish it was a 22 episode series. Like if there's only 6 and never any more, that's very disappointing to me because I want to see more.
Yeah. I
think you know what I mean.
Oh, I do.
But the thing is, they don't have to limit themselves to 6.
No, they definitely don't.
I mean, I'm sure Ewan's charging, $1.5 million an episode, 10 million for the season, easily, because he's the entire point of it. You know, if he said no, the show's not happening, they're gonna make profit out of it. So, it makes sense to.
At least, and the thing that I do, those subtle things, like he's got the the Obi-Wan like doing this with his beard thing like down perfect. So good, those little mannerisms.
Yeah, he always was really working to be Alec Guinness. I love the pictures you see that it's like, in 10 years I'll look like this. I look like this now. Oh my god, those 10 years really suck. So obviously he can't play this version for that long because he will have to look progressively way older in the next like 5 years.
Maybe he exerts himself with the Force at the end and like ages like Palpatine
I mean,
did.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
But then do you want to see Ewan with a big grey beard? It's like, no, let's not make him. He looks good enough. Don't have to make him look much older. But that would be yeah.
General Grievous, $5. Just a shout out to Obi-Wan's character. He gave that old clone credits, even though that clone 501st and marched on the Jedi Temple for Order 66. Yes, I was watching somebody review this, and they said it would have been great when all of the things fire up with Obi-Wan's face. If the clone trooper saw it, initiated his programming, like, I just saw that guy, and he gets up, puts his helmet on, dumps the credits out first, and then puts his helmet on, and just takes off. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I did think that was a missed opportunity cameo. Like, I get why it's all it is, but if you brought him back for that, which clearly was filmed on a different soundstage, like, they didn't interact, 2 different days, 2 different whatevers, fine. But I don't know why they didn't, like, use that more. Because surely he would, like, know those troopers what they're capable of. He could say, tell me, trooper, where are... I mean, obviously, risk alerting who you are, but, yeah, I thought...
You also got to hope that he wasn't one of the troopers under your command that would have recognized you. Because, damn, you don't look any different, really.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of assumed that... Obviously, I don't know where it's going. I kind of assumed it would be like Rex or one of the main 3 from the animated series.
Yeah.
It'd be like, General Kenobi? No. Shit. No, it is you. I've totally... because I thought that would be like he could have a sidekick and then see whatever his name is in a full beard and an awkward beard. Like, he's fully bald. Like, seeing a full head of hair, full beard, awkwardly in the entire show. But that's the thing, though. How much of the show needs to be standalone versus connecting to the world? Because we want to see it connect as a great cameo, but, like, if you introduce that, you'd want to use that somewhat. Because just seeing a clone by himself, because they're meant to die of old age, like, that's impressive by itself that he lived this long. That's impressive. It would have been fun to see more of that.
No, that scene you got up there with her getting stopped by the Grand Inquisitor from cutting the Jedi down was interesting. And that poor Jedi asking Obi-Wan for help and then just getting strung up and down.
Yeah.
One of the best scenes for me, though, honestly, was Obi-Wan and Owen, and even how Luke got his T-16 Skyhopper model. that was a nice little touch. And well, I don't know if Luke got it because Owen brought it back, but still, he was playing with it in Star Wars. So.
And that is close to fan service, but of all the things, that's sweet. It's a sweet moment.
Yeah.
Now, fans also keep mentioning in the chat your favourite lightsabers. I just put up a whole lot of lightsabers. If you have a preference out of all these designs, because they're all quite different. I recognise most of them. I recognise 2 of them, but if you have a preference in the batch.
Let's see.
Or if there's any that you initially think, oh, I love that design. Is there anything you specifically like? Do you know?
I'm taking a look here. Honestly, either Luke's down there, like on the
Second
bottom,
from the bottom,
or third if you count Darth Maul's, but yeah. And the third down in the same column, the third one down, I like that one. I don't know whose that is though. I don't know.
Wait, on the
I don't
left column or the
lightsaber.
right column?
Right column.
Okay, so on the right you've got Darth Maul, you've got Emperor Palpatine, you've got Luke Episode 3, you've got Obi-Wan Episode 1, you've got, I don't know, you've got Qui-Gon Jinn, you've got... that's one of the Council Jedi, you've got Qui-Gon Jinn, you've got Yoda, and you've got... Other Yoda? No, I don't know. Yeah, I've always liked Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber for some reason. That's the right-hand side, 5th down. It's very sleek,
Okay.
but it has a nice flow to it, I think. I like how I'm always a fussy with how much the black and silver balance on a saber, personally. I can't have too much black. I find Kenobis always have too much black in them. I did have the toy version of the one with the ball at the end. It's just cumbersome, the ball.
Yeah.
So I do prefer his episodes 2 and 3 saber, which is after it gets destroyed, he gets his, which is what Luke's is based off of, which is why it's a bit confusing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Luke finds Obi-Wan's lightsaber, and then like parts of it, and then bases his saber off the parts that Kenobi has in his hut, not his cave, because he has a hut. So where's he?
He upgrades to a hut later.
Yeah, where's he upgrade from a hut to a cave, or cave to a hut? Maybe when Owen says, "You're all right, Kenobi. You'll have a hut now." Hut.
Fleet Paw throws in $2. I like Dooku's and the one on the right above Maul's. Dooku's is fancy.
It is. It's pompous, fun pompous. I always like that in the Lego versions. So what do you think of then this Inquisitor lady? Because I've heard controversial things, like there's a swath of opinion, disliking her, liking her, etc. What was your thoughts? Because she's clearly the second lead character. So
I think she's great. She's very driven. There's something with her and Kenobi in the past that we don't know about yet, which I'm interested to find out.
Ooh,
I'm fairly certain she's dead set on finding Kenobi for some reason.
Okay.
Which we might see in flashbacks or whatever. So, and I think she does a great job. She's a little against the grain, kills the Grand Inquisitor and all that, but I understand why. If it's a personal vendetta and somebody's trying to get in your way and then take all the credit for finding one of the greatest Jedi and hunting them down when it was your idea, yeah, I get it. Normally, it's a character I probably wouldn't really like, but the way she's portrayed, I think, is fantastic. So she deserves to die. Don't get me wrong, but she's still a great character. So, yeah.
See, I love that because I personally don't see beef between them, because I saw it as a really pure I want to be Vader's apprentice. Like, this is where I'm seeing it going. I'm seeing it as there's these Inquisitors, which obviously Force sensitive, ex-Jedi. You've got Vader. Vader is by far the top boss, but if she's clever, she knows about the rule of 2, and so she wants to be the apprentice of Vader. If she can prove she's the most powerful Inquisitor, and you do so by bringing Vader his old master. Because if everyone fell for 10 years and she did it successfully, then to bring in his arch enemy. Yeah, to bring in the arch enemy, to bring in the guy that destroyed you, she'll get instant points. And if she can work that in a very arrogant way, she might be able to get. I think beyond Inquisitor, like there's no beef. It's just he is the guy. He's the Rosetta Stone to my success. With him, I might be able to be second-hand person of Vader. Maybe even kill Vader and get Palpatine. Like I see it as a stepping stone. Because she'd be so young with Anakin, Obi-Wan. Like it's pure power. That's why she's so driven.
That's what I think is going to happen though. Like if that was her in the Jedi Temple. We know Obi-Wan eventually goes back there. Maybe something happened that she thinks that he turned on them or something.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Or didn't go out of his way to help them or rescue them, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a little bit of a personal vendetta there with the way she's handling things.
But I feel like the Inquisitor would sense that in her. You knew Kenobi when you were 4. Yes. That's true.
One thing that kind of confused me too was when she mentions Vader, and then she's like, "Oh, you didn't know he's alive." It's like, well, what's Vader been doing for 10 years? Hanging out in a tank? Like, surely the people know about the Empire. Yeah, surely people know about that. Even Obi-Wan would get whispers of it. Like, I don't know. That just kind of bugged me a little bit.
It depends though, because Tatooine. Oh. Yeah, because the whole point of Tatooine is that even though for us it's the center of the galaxy, it's a backwards who cares place. That's why Luke's there. No one would think to find him there, and clearly Obi-Wan only works, goes to sleep, works, goes to sleep. So he has no communication. Like, there's no news network, there's no TV, there's no internet. He's been alone, ostensibly, for 10 years. Unless he goes out looking for news, in which case there might be a record of, like, even with, I think, Mandalorian, he, like, accessed Terminal and they work out it's him who accessed it. Like, well, why would you search Jedi? That's suspicious. They're a Jedi! So I can see him as just, like, not ever checking the news. And since we know he went to Tatooine instantly, like, there's no after that. So he's been there for 10 years.
Yeah.
I kind of like that he was so out that as soon as he gets into the world, they're like, dude, the Empire has taken over 100 planets. Like, what? Yeah, they massacred. Like, I like the idea that he'll be brought up to speed, and it's so dramatic. So I just thought the Vader thing made a lot of sense, just because he's so out of it.
Yeah, I mean, they show him coming back from work on the train, and he's never talked to anybody. So
Yeah.
I think he's very isolated, like an old hermit, like they say in the first movie. He just doesn't want anybody to get an idea who he is. So.
Yeah, only Lars would talk to him in theory and give him any supplies, and he clearly says F off. So I
love that too. Like about you don't care about Luke. You just want to know if he's showing signs of the Force.
That was a.
And
I felt that to the gut.
The whole thing of we had a deal. Once he was old enough, he needs to be trained, and it's like, no, that's not. You think you'd keep brushed up on your Force skills just for that alone to be able to train him someday?
That's true.
So not using the Force at all and being that rusty at it, it kind of, I don't know.
The problem is you can sense the Force. So if any Sith Inquisitor came to Tatooine, he's using the Force every day.
True.
You would sense it. So he probably actively moved himself away. Now, another thing, thanks for mentioning it, he does actively call out for Qui-Gon in a scene, and I do mention it explicitly at the start. Two scenes. Oh yeah, and we see the prequels in flashbacks, like in a big long exposition scene. Movie quality though was great. It was very expensive last time on. Wow.
And his nightmares were high quality too.
Yeah. Wow. I would be shocked if we don't get a Qui-Gon cameo appearance.
Oh, we will.
So I know that was obviously he trained him years ago in the Force telepathy ways, but why would you not do that? Like, it's his show, that's his old master. Ask for advice. Obviously, you should bring him back. But I said that about Boba Fett I mean, you shouldn't use everything in season 1 if you want more seasons. But like, surely that's a scene that you need to have for catharsis.
Yeah. It's been 10 years. You'd assumed it would have happened by now because one of the flashback scenes at the beginning, like last time on Star Wars, was. They said, I'll train you to speak with your old master. I'll train you in the ways or whatever. So yeah, you think after 10 years there would have been some movement on that. But he asked in the cave after the nightmare. Actually, speaking of, when he wakes up from the nightmare, I was like, dude, the prequels weren't that bad. You don't need to have nightmares about them. But
that was explicit though. Like, he did talk to him over the years. It's just, it's now been 10 years. He's now distant from the Force. He's choosing not to.
Oh, okay.
That's the point. He's so far past that moment. Can he connect anymore? As you said, he hasn't used the Force in so long, and that's a very high-end power to talk to the dead. So, really need that to be you need to have him in it. But is that a season 2 thing? You know.
Yeah, and then he asked for him again on the planet. He's if I ever need your help, it's now. But yeah. Speaking of, I like the con artist Jedi guy. From the actors from the Eternals. I think I like the character. Thought he was kind of shady at first, but he's actually just trying to help people still, just making some money off of it.
Yeah, but, boy, the tone of that scene just evolves every 5 seconds.
It was pretty great, honestly.
Like, he had a freaking blast. Like, Ewan's like, you sir, I've been in Star Wars for 25 years. I'm here for the day, mate! Loving life! Like, the energy was so, off. I loved it.
Yeah, that whole look who we had him. Oh, that's embarrassing. Let's go get him.
Yeah, he was a really good get. I love the fact that Obi-Wan is the picture. Like, sticks him up with a blaster. Like, that's because he's there's so many little things. I love the fact that he walks out of Tatooine in Jedi robes, but low key shitty Jedi robes. Like, he can't not wear robes, but they're crap versions because that's all he's got left. Yeah. So he's still wearing robes. They're just a bit crap, but they're still robes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fleet Paw throws in $5 and says, I did hear that Favreau did get Neeson to play Qui-Gon again. I haven't seen any confirmation on this, but it wouldn't be a surprise, to be honest. No, I don't think it's a surprise at all. I think it's got to happen.
I did just Google it, and they say he's coming back to the anthology show as a voiceover. The anthology that I didn't even know existed. And he wasn't only animated, I think, twice, so he has been back doing voice. But, you know.
Yeah.
Do it for real!
Yep.
But then, would you make him look the same? Because it's been 20 years, and he was in his 40s then, he's in his 60s now. Well, late 60s.
He should look younger. I mean, when
he
Ben
should.
dies, he goes back to his young look, and
He should, yeah.
I don't know. I think they'll keep him looking the same as when he died.
Because if you had that much ginger hair to him, he'll look younger. Like, that's a lot of hair to put back on his face.
Yeah. Now, what did you think of Leia? Because a lot of people are all already bullying the actress online for, making Leia unlikable or whatever. But I think the character's perfectly on point for what Leia would be like. Kind of that snarky, sassy attitude. And I think the casting was pretty good, honestly. I did not expect to see that. I will be honest. When I saw it, I was like, oh, this is awesome. And it's sad because now we get to know Alderaan. We get to know what it looks like. We get to know the people. So that when it happens in Star Wars... Because in Star Wars, it's like, oh, it's a planet destroyed. Who cares? It didn't really impact me, even though she was the princess from there. But now we're getting to know the people, so...
Although, briefly, Ross Knuckles says, Neeson is too old for an in-person cameo. Mark Hamill was too young for an in-person... Oh, wait.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if he's a Force ghost. Because you can de-age that and have it look a lot better. It won't look
That's
off.
true. Yeah, just make his face more blurry because he's out of focus, because he's a Force... Yeah, exactly. He's really not too young for her. Yeah, Leia, I mean, you said that about the bullying. I wonder if she actually was, if that was the news story that came out, because... they want to peddle these news stories. How many people genuinely tweet us for this girl saying hateful things? All you need is 2 people and the news media will go on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like when people said, oh, we're all racist as Trek fans, we all hate Sneaker Martin Green because she's black. And it's like, no. Like, that might have been 5 people, but it's not most people. It's not even hundreds of people. It's going to be dozens of people most, and those are going to be already of a certain demographic. So I don't like those sorts of, like, you know what I mean? Like, it instantly allows them, as the company, to say, you fuckers, the fans, stop bullying. It's like, well, probably isn't... You're just making it a bigger thing. Yes, it defends them, but, really? How do people actually do that?
The other question I have is that 3PO? Because there is a
3PO-esque cameo, yeah.
Well, it might be 3PO. He was on the transport that Leia was on in Star Wars.
I assume it was, yeah.
And he's a translator. I thought it was too, but I just wanted to make sure.
I mean, there's obviously a silver one to confuse us, so there's obviously multiple. But if this is their standard...
Silver one's great, with the blue eyes. I like that.
I assume it is 3PO. I mean, it would make sense. And it's a good cameo to not even have them say anything. Like, oh, yeah, bye. Because, as we know, they don't age. But for me, I thought this was very interesting, because this is one of those few things they didn't even allude to in the trailers. This being the actual story of Obi-Wan Kenobi. We didn't know. And I thought, as a storytelling technique... Star Wars itself is very male-centered anyway, just the nature of the beast. It gave females huge roles, but in this part of the timeline, that's a little bit harder to do. So I thought having it be the reversal, be Leia be the story character, was very smart, because it allows both a female strong presence, the Leia character to have a strong presence, and you are able to cheat, like you said at the start, help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, that becomes a billion times more powerful. You can have multiple stories of her knowing him, because they're never going to meet Luke, ever. Why would they? They don't even know Luke. Like, so that actually works super well. So I thought that was nice. I mean, she's appropriately obnoxious. Like, if she was my kid, I'd be annoyed at her, because she's a kid. Like, that's just part of being a child. I didn't find it any more whatever. I liked when she kept going to adult mode and made these really astute deductions. That I thought was a nice little character. I think the actor did a good job in those scenes to try and present more. So all in all, I thought it was a very interesting choice, and I didn't not like any of her scenes. I'm more in the mode of where is it going to go, because that's sort of, that evolution is the interesting part for me. But certainly seeing, the guy back who's been, almost as many Star Wars as anyone else, the only thread that connects all the canons, her dad. I have to check in a minute. I have to see if the mum was the same actress from her one brief moment in 6 or in 3. But yeah, I liked Alderaan. It was beautiful, it was pretty, it was simple. It's truly the well, it shows how shitty Luke's life is. You know, one half gets a beautiful gleaming city with guards and money and wealth and droids. One gets, I'm
A dirt farm.
a water farm on a dirt planet on my roof going meow like Anakin. Which I liked that. He's a pilot like his father. That I thought was nice. So that I thought it was a very smart move actually, and it was a very good reason for Obi-Wan to jump out, because those are the only two reasons you would. And the fact that he said no so many times to bring him in was very smart. I mean, Star Wars hyperspace is as fast as plot. It's never been a set speed. So him being able to get there in the day is, fine. It happens. I'm not even questioning it. No. Of course he can hyperspace to any planet in the day. Yeah, it's fine.
Scarpad's Comic Treks throws in $5 and says, I thought Obi was great. There's a few minor nitpicks. Player was played fine. I think some YouTubers are set to auto-hate something to appease members they get. Yeah, Unfortunately, yes.
We've
There's
never
a lot of culture
done that.
Around that.
We've never done. I don't understand it. You know, I can't pull from this. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oy. Now, can you express the nitpicks then?
Let us know your nitpicks. We'd like to hear them.
Because I'm a reasonably big Star Wars fan. You know?
One of the nitpicks that I had in the first episode was them chasing the kid. Like, could have easily caught her multiple times. Yes, they showed her going under foliage and stuff, but the way they stumbled through and were really slow, it's like, no, that's just ridiculous. So that was a little bit of a problem for me. There was another one, but I can't remember what it was right now. It was in the second episode. Show her in some small way that you have the Force so she will trust you a little bit more.
Oh.
That was one thing that kind of bothered me a little bit. I know there's a lot of people around, so the last thing you want is somebody seeing you use it. But, I don't know, like, there has to be noise about Lola. And she's like, oh, she's broken. It's like, good. Or she's hurt. Good. And then he realizes how harsh she was, and he's like, so what happened to her? That was a nice scene.
Yeah, I was in two minds about Leia. I assumed they were going to pull the Force card on her because it would help make the sequel trilogy better. Because they throw us that she has had Force the entire time retcon out of nowhere. It makes sense, but they never went into it. But to introduce it this early, it then has to be super, super, super held down for entire life feels forced. Forced. Joke. Like if they show her in another medium being Force user and then loses it, but it's a weird old retcon to throw in. It's tricky. I want to see it, but at the same time, yeah.
The other thing that people are having issues with is when he says, "How old are you?" 10. You don't sound like 10. Of course, he knows she's 10, but he's also, I think he knew her age, but he was just asking her as, I don't know. I don't know why that's such a problem for people, but I noticed it right away as well. I'm like, you obviously know how old she is, so.
I was there at your conception and your birth. Wait, what? What? Nothing.
What? No, just one of those things. Just one of those.
Yeah, I definitely found the. What was the first thing you said? The of the two confusing things. Oh yeah, the running away thing. Yeah, that I thought was. They had to film it in such a specific way to make us have the energy that a girl with legs shorter than the guy's arm can run away from trained mercenaries. I mean, that was particularly forced. For what it is, it was fun, but it just take 1 second, even with the slipping and sliding. Then being like,
see, yeah.
Well, no. Or stun her with a blaster, you know.
One of the first things and easiest things they could have done, when she runs away from the palace, she takes off her vest, right? Mm-hmm. Should have left that on and have them grab the vest and then that come off and then them stumble.
Yep.
She get a little bit more of a head start. Like, he could have worked it a lot better, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Another thing that really just kind of bugged me is at the end where they're leaving on the cargo ship and she runs up to it. She has enough time to like stick her lightsaber in the side of that ship and just like slice a line through it or make it not space worthy at least. And she just doesn't. She just yells at them.
Yeah.
Because the ship wasn't far enough away from the thing yet. Like, if it would have gone sideways first, but no, just go slowly up, and she was, like, standing right there. I would have like started hacking at it at least, just out of anger or frustration. But I don't know.
Yes, that ending definitely felt like we've got 1 minute of screen time left. We've got to quickly close out because we both played Force Unleashed. Throw the lightsaber. It's real, or same thing. Grab the shuttle and crush its engines.
Or at least try to hold it.
Like super easy, Stuart. Like it's not even a convenience of yeah, that was like I understand she's probably not the best Jedi or Sith. Well, not even Sith. She's not even a Inquisitor. Like we don't know her skill level. She's like any one compared to a human looks powerful. Yes, she can go fast. Yeah, they all can. She might be crap, but with ambition. We have no context, and she she caught the Grand Inquisitor by surprise because he wouldn't expect an underling to stab him. That's the only reason. There's we didn't see a duel. We saw her stab. So I'm not going to give her any credit for being a skilled fighter yet. Which would be great if she's actually crap. I think it'd be a fun reveal, like she's just pure arrogance.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really weird ending because, I will find you despite I could literally grab you right now and I'm wasting my opportunity. Oh, bye-bye. Yeah, that was like at least have it be the appropriate distance away that you've ran, or have Obi-Wan like force some rocks in her way, or force the runway to collapse or something, because it was it's definitely a weak ending, but then it tricks you by mentioning Anakin and him like kind of pulls you in that moment, so you kind of forget about the silliness of the other moment. But yeah, certainly should have thrown the lightsaber. But then it's like they're literally wizards. How do you get a situation? You just ignore all their powers, because otherwise how do you get a situation? It's a very difficult thing to get out of.
Yeah.
I'll just ignore it.
General Grievous throws in $2 and says, "How old are you?" Was more surprised at her words. Yes, I agree, but everybody online is all up in arms about it.
Yeah.
So
it is a weird line. It is a weird line because he knows to the day. Especially
when he says, "I know your father. You should probably trust me." Asking her age probably isn't the best idea if she's that smart. She'd be like, "You should know my age." But Eric Skelton throws in $5. My problem thus far: years ago, you fought with my father in the Clone Wars. With this rescue canonized, shouldn't she have known Obi-Wan by A New Hope? Yes. 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 You're absolutely right. Damn. Yep, that bothers me a little bit now. Thank you. General Grievous, $2. Second sister in Fallen Order stabbed Cal's ship. Yeah. I just thought it was a bit of a wasted opportunity to show either force powers or, lightsabers.
I mean, in fairness, we don't know that she even has much force ability.
Because she can run across buildings really well.
Yes, but that's force
parkour.
Because we know there's a billion types of force abilities, and not everyone's strong with everyone. So maybe she's purely I can harness the stabby, not the forcey. Which not everyone can do it. There is levels of ability. There's a whole plethora of what like I said. Do you really think the librarian lady in the temple is the best at jumping across rooftops? No, she's probably good at what she can do. Force reading, what? Force memory,
Force Dewey Decimal System.
Yes, force. Everyone just goes quiet.
Yeah.
Very very spirit power. Yes.
Now, the picture you got up now of the third sister with Owen was a great scene. Now, I get the feeling that they can sense force users, because they do in the bar. They could tell there's somebody there that had the force.
But that's because the lightsaber's on the wall, though. I don't know if they actually... Because if they sense any force...
I didn't see a lightsaber on the wall.
No, the lightsaber slashes. That's how they knew he was there, because there was gapes in the hole. There was like an X of lightsabers.
Hmm.
Because they would have known who it was. It was only because the lady throws something at somebody and he stops
dagger at the owner.
So they can't sense him. Like, they only know because they've heard from people, because there's a bounty.
But they can sense the force, because when she's in the second episode where he says, "I am the great Jedi so-and-so. What is the bounty on me now? 1 million? 2 million?" She's like, she pauses for a second and kind of concentrates. Says, "You don't have the force. Or you're not a Jedi."
There's a difference between sensing a lack of versus sensing a thing. And in fairness, if she'd gone to every person in his face, she probably could have sensed it, but they weren't going to be that creepy. But I guess no midichlorians versus some. But that is true to some extent.
But the scene with Owen, I think, was really well played, especially since Kenobi was just hiding like a few feet away.
And very cowardly, like no, this it used to be a very powerful dragon, fought Obi-Wan on a lava slide on a planet while it was destroying around him, and now he's like, oh no, ooh, no sir, no. Yeah, and I mean, but like he's probably not going to turn Obi-Wan in, but I think the show did a good enough job thinking, but he might though. Do you know what I mean? It kind of had that sort of tension that it's hard to get in a show where everyone's dead already in the context of the universe.
He kind of glances over in that direction like once, but yeah.
But also because this lady, whatever her name is, she throws out so many bold suggestions. You never know what she really knows. She treats him as if he does know where he is, but then leaves him. So she clearly doesn't know, otherwise she would stay. So she just likes playing the game.
Yeah.
Which I like. Like you never know what she actually knows because confidence. It's obviously confidence trickster game. Yeah. Yeah. Hiding like Picard behind a bench. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Menzi Fate, he's not scared. He just doesn't. He hasn't used the Force in 10 years. He doesn't have his lightsaber on him at that point. He doesn't want to reveal that he has the Force or is a Jedi. So no, he's not scared. He's just staying hidden to keep the Force users alive that are still alive.
It's not about fear. He's Okay, as soon as he uses any Force powers and is shown, the point of him wasting his life for 10 years, burning it down, is lost. He will commit the rest of his life to not doing a thing to save the one thing he's been given to do. Everything revolves around that, because that is a long play. He's not scared. If I act, everything is ended. Everybody is worth sacrificing, unfortunately, for this. And Lars kind of played the game as well. Like, well, it's worth sacrificing myself. It's unlikely she will go and kill my family, but if I tell her, then they will. Boy, the balls on that guy. I mean, this guy comes in every couple of movies and shows, and it's the same actor for 20 years, and he is like lucky then for casting such a good guy in the first place, because he has done a good job, and he even had that deep croaky "I hate you" vocals of the older version of him, which I like.
He does a really good version of him. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Luke. It's like wow, that was a.
It even makes you appreciate him a lot more in Star Wars, though. His attitude towards it, like he's just trying to keep Luke safe. He doesn't want him going off and joining the academy or whatever.
But I also think he was very, he clearly thinks of himself as his own son, mirroring the Organs. I wish he'd said that more. I don't know how he could have in the context of the scenes, but I hope we get that later on. Like, no, he is my son. Like, I do not think of him as Anakin, like my brother. He is my child. I wish we get that later on. It would be nice.
Yeah. Skypad's Comic Treks throws in $5.
Thank you.
6 episodes, Vader wanting Obi-Wan would have been enough plot. They really didn't need to affect canon with Leia's story. Like, Gorns aren't cannibals.
Well, Gorns don't eat themselves. We haven't established that yet. Just saying. People aren't to them. See, no, I think Leia's a very smart side road. They have to be careful, but these guys are much carefuler than the Star Trek people. Which, Stuart, isn't it amazing that they didn't re-visualize any of the ships or tech? Why didn't they? I know, it's amazing. I mean, that lightsaber looked so old, like the 70s or the 2000. Oh, so old. And wow, why was nothing retcon, Stuart, visually? Because it's old. Wow, his homestead looked really bad, like Tunisia in the 70s. Ooh, they should have updated that.
You should have had a scene where he pulls the lightsaber out and uses the touch screen to check the power levels.
Yeah,
because there'd be power like a battery indicator.
I can't buy that moisture evaporator is just 4 tubes and a podium. That has to have lights and touch screens. Yeah, well, come on, guys, touch screens, holograms. Come on. It's so fucking respectful. Yes. It's so frustrating for us Trek fans. It's so frustrating.
Warpig 123456 says, would have spent 10 years practicing with a blaster. Yes, but he didn't have a blaster. He had just come from work, which we've seen 3 times at this point.
Yeah.
Very mundane, low-key life. Why would he have a blaster on him? That just raises suspicions. So no. Yeah.
But I do agree. It would be fun to show I thought they were so uncivilized, but I like them now. I can hit shit. Yes.
Yeah. Talonhawk says, to be fair to you, special effects were pretty bad in comparison to the original trilogy. LOL.
Designs are still good though.
Yep. Oh well. Let's see. Let's peruse episode 2. Episode 2 wasn't as good. I did like the spice lab, which was like a meth lab. Now, did he turn up the burner on the thing, or did he use the force to shatter the one behind him? Because when he causes that distraction, you see the blue vial of whatever behind him, and that's the one that flares up. So in my mind, I thought he used the force to make the flame go up, but he hasn't used the force to that point, and he doesn't use it until he saves Leia. So, was it a force thing, or was it something else? I don't think it was made very clear.
I will rewatch that scene. Because I can't visualize it. I assumed the force, but it wouldn't make sense contextually. I agree with you now. You're saying it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a weird thing to walk through a meth lab.
Spice lab.
And apparently the girl that gave him spice was his daughter. Apparently, real life daughter.
Oh.
Now that's just a Twitter thing. But
she says, "Well, I was somebody's daughter once."
Oh, your daughter! You abandoned me on this soundstage, father. Abandoned me. I bred you without a beard. You betrayed me.
That makes that line so much better. I was somebody's daughter once.
And she was actually pretty good. I liked her a little bit. I thought that was really sad. I just thought she did a really good job for 5 seconds screen time. Okay, let's have a gander then.
Yes, Philip, we did talk about the Skyhopper model, yes.
It was good. I like that. But Stuart, why wasn't that Skyhopper all updated and visually different? Because of course it wouldn't work now.
Yeah, it should have had glowing elements on the fins.
Detached fins, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yes, absolutely.
I mean, wow. God, it doesn't make it clear, Stuart. I guess he turned it up, but there's zero information on the scene to show if he did or didn't. Oh, weird, yeah.
Well, it looks like it's the one behind him on the table, though.
Well, he does, yeah.
And then it just goes off by itself.
I mean, he could have turned and did it. That's weird, yeah. That's a weird edit, that is. Huh. Yeah.
Yep. So again, I thought it was the Force, but then, yeah, And also, he was in the Clone Wars for how goddamn long?
All of the Clone Wars.
And he could not hit Theodore Rex, who was shooting at him. And was that supposed to be Forlom, the other guy?
Well, that's just because blasters are crap.
They're an uncivil weapon.
Yeah, that's just that is a fair. I did think that. Didn't you think the editing was a bit weird that the Night Sister Leia's, the Inquisitor's running at him, and then does the entire thing with Leia, goes to the surface, which takes him he's not jumping down, he's having to go down manually, and she finally catches up with him.
Yeah,
it's like you weren't that far away. You're running like a mofo. How have you not?
How did he get down so fast?
She should have caught up to him instantly. They weren't that. Yeah. You saw how far she was away. That was a really weird edit. Don't introduce that early on if you're not going to do it. Weird.
Yep. Jasper Jedi, $10. Ah. Oops, I'm late. Decided to spam these when I saw you were doing a live on them. My take is I quite enjoyed them for the most part. It's good. Yeah, so did we. Everybody hit that like button. Let's try to get to 100 likes, by the way, guys. Keep the super chats coming. We need at least another 40 to hit our minimum. But if anybody wants to throw in some super chats and let us know your thoughts on this, anything you noticed that we haven't talked about and you want us to talk about, please do. We didn't do like a complete breakdown from beginning to end of each episode. Mm-hmm. We're just kind of talking. So if there's anything we missed or you want us to talk about, super chat, and we'll definitely give it a discussion. Yeah, that scene with the lightsabers, I thought was funny. I just turned to Sylvia and said, "It's a good thing he GPS tracked those. It's a big desert." Yeah, Force attunement. He probably knows where they are.
So which scene?
Or he digs up the lightsabers.
Yeah, he just knows. He's got a sense.
There's no marker. There's nothing around there at all. So it's not like it's near a rock that's like 50 feet away or something.
Well, I appreciate the foreshadowing of just bury it in the sand. I don't think he buried it that far away, though. Because it's not deep, but there's so much sand that it only has to be like half a mile from his house, and it's still like so much area.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that far away. But it's a nice moment when he finally opens it and sees it. And obviously, I forgot he had both lightsabers. That for me was quite powerful. Like, oh yeah, shit.
Yeah.
He does have both. Yeah.
Eric Martin, $5. You would think Obi would try to disguise his appearance more, especially when he had to go off.
Shave the beard. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not. He's really, really rusty, and he's also used to just living his best life as a Jedi. He's never had to done incognito like this. I know in the comic animated he did do some weird Mandalorian stuff. I haven't seen that stuff, but I know he did. So but that's not necessarily taken into account here. But it is weird though. He does take his hood off after when he's running after Leia in the last bit. It's like that's the moment you keep it on. You put it on for a purpose, and he has it off again. A scene later, it's like no, sir, keep it on.
Yes, especially where everybody has your picture.
Everyone knows your name, yeah. And then also someone says, yeah, Kieran says, I might be wrong, but I was surprised to see the Grand Inquisitor dead. As they don't think Dave would allow his show to be retconned, because he died later in a different show. But as someone has pointed out, like a stab wound is not necessarily a death. I mean, have you seen Darth Maul? Yeah. He got cut in half. His organs were cut in half. So I have no problem assuming that guy's going to come back. That was more of a get out of my way stab. You know, Sith mutilate each other occasionally. It just happens. So you know he'll be back in a later. I mean, you don't put that much makeup and time to the guy to have a pretty shit appearance. I mean, let's be honest. He was not a very good character. I didn't think he was anyway. What do you think overall? I mean.
No, I assumed he was dead, but I didn't know that he died later.
Yeah,
like I'm not 100% brushed up on all my Star Wars lore, so I knew enough who they were and all that. But, yeah.
But I know he's not a particularly good rendition of him. Like he didn't read or watch the source material. He didn't try and become literate. He just kind of did his own thing, which is very plain. Like he just sort of, I'm acting like I'm calm. It's like, okay.
It's also difficult for a lot of people, I think, because Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and this are all set in different time periods. And people that aren't really brushed up on all the Star Wars lore might get confused a little bit. But I don't think that's much of a problem for people watching this, hopefully.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But I liked, like, it reminds me of this picture that he has the full-on Sith eyes, which are only gained when you would go to maximum Sith level. So he's like that dark and deadly. But I assume he's being kept alive by his personal force power, and then he'll come back in a later episode and punish. So I'm kind of assuming the Inquisitor will go rogue, and it'll be Kenobi being chased by Inquisitor, who's also being chased by other Inquisitors, and then Vader has to come out of hiding, out of his location to go chase all of them.
Yeah.
Which will be fun, I suppose. And then presumably Vader will fight the new Inquisitor lady, because she'll prove her strength to him, and then he'll mow her down, because obviously... Because Obi can't fight him in every episode. You can have that once, pretty much. You know? So you have to choose your moment to have them fight.
Yeah. Christian Montgomery, $2. Jedi should be able to sense their lightsaber. Yes. But he's, as we kind of find out at the end, he hasn't really used it in 10 years, the Force, so... But yeah. Eric Martin, $2. I love the fake Jedi guy with all his tricks. Yeah, he was fantastic. Great character.
I mean, I kind of got it about 30 seconds in, 40 seconds in.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm using a Jedi mind trick on you. Do not be alarmed. I said, that's not how the Force works.
Oh, good reference.
I'm leaving your mind now.
Because it is a very ballsy play to pretend to be the savior, but most people still think they're good. Now, what do you think? Do you think he's a scumbag because he's taking all of their money each time, assuming? Like, he is racking.
Oh.
He's a racket.
Yeah. He's, I thought he was at first, and I didn't want him to be because I like the guy. I like the character, I like the actor and stuff. But, no, I like the fine line that he's got there of he's actually helping people. Like, the guy at the gate will help him because they're working together or help them. But they're just a little poor now. I mean, I need to survive, too. Credits by nice things and all. Do I do bad things? Yeah. Do I feel guilty about it? Sometimes.
Yeah, it was a tricky one because I like I say, he needs to eat.
Yeah.
I'm not going to think too much of him for that, but as long as he does save them, and I think that line was almost fully shown. I think they probably could have done with a shot of them being on the transport. Minimally. But then the fact that he does actually, go against the Inquisitor with full bravery, like I thought he was going to get mowed down. Clearly going to come back again though. But she's like so just annoyed by him. But then she does the Ben Solo trick of pulling from his brain, which is what he did. So she's that strong in the Force that she can pull thoughts from. Which I kind of wish we get, because it's really unfortunate that Kenobi, it's not a trick, is it, Leia? No, it's not. I trust him. As like 5 seconds after they arrive, shit, it was a trick. It's like, no, it wasn't a trick. They just pulled it from his mind. Yes.
Yeah. General Grievous, $5.
Thank you.
Maybe Darth Vader finds the Grand Inquisitor, patches him up, and finishes inflating him so that his head is the right size.
Oh god.
Or right shape finally, yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. I think the next episode will determine if it's a good show or not. Like, what we're going to get. Are we going to get Vader in it? Are we going to get Vader's castle? Are we going to get, how much of the good stuff? Because now they've set up, this is a really good setup, right? How big they go from here. I would think they'd put out all the stops. Because Boba Fett felt not cheap, but it felt restrained. Mandalorian always felt a bit more full on. That's why the Mandalorian Boba Fett episode was good, because it felt all the stops right. We had Ahsoka, we had Luke, we had a really amazing... Like, that felt all of the things. So I hope they make a big one. And of course, bring in Samuel L. Jackson, make these surprise... Bring them back. Now's your chance. Have him talk to Yoda through the Force. Have Frank Oz say, "Hurrah!" and rebuild the hut,
Mark Lawrence, $5. I'd love Vader's lines to Reva when he kills her to be, "You threatened my stepsister, Owen."
Stepbrother.
And then goes, stepbrother, Owen. And then goes wide-eyed with realization she really effed up.
But she does know he's Skywalker, though. So she did know that going in. But that is true. He could probably sense he bullied the stepbrother. I mean, that would be a hell of a scene, though, if Vader goes to Tatooine and because he doesn't know he has a... Well, no, he knows he has a... Well, he knows he has one. He doesn't know he has a daughter, ever, but he knew he has a son. He assumes he has a son.
Yes.
Because he knew Poma was pregnant, but then she died.
But I think the implication is that he thinks they're
both dead. Yeah. Well,
they died. They both died during childbirth.
Yeah, he never knew there was twins because they only learned that as she was giving birth, even though you would work that beforehand. Because the bit of evidence is 2 of them during the pregnancy part of the pregnancy. But it would be kind of cool if he does go to Owen as like, "Hello, Owen. Hello, Anakin. I'm not Anakin. Sorry, brother. Don't call me brother. I'm sorry, Dark Lord." Okay. That'd be a scene. That should be the outtake. He just walks up to the guy on the set. It's like they go to his house on set while filming scenes. Like, "Do scene, motherfucker. Here I am. I want my son."
She died because she lost her will to live. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
I've always preferred that Palpatine killed her. Like, whatever force he did sort of continued and killed her to ensure that he would stay evil. I've always liked that theory. Because if he died, because if she lived, he might come back to be good. But if you make sure he's dead, then he's not going to come back. So I always like that theory.
Talon Hawk says they even showed a funeral scene where Padme still had a large belly during her funeral.
We don't lose a belly instantly, so yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
But
All these advanced scanners, but no clue you're having twins.
Yeah, it is a bit weird. I'm really hoping though that we do get, and this is a hell of an ambitious thing. I really hope we're gonna get some legitimate flashbacks to Anakin as Anakin and Obi-Wan as Obi-Wan, looking young, or Anakin in the temple, because this is their chance. You've got them on contract. You've got de-aging. It works. It's a lot less of a de-age him to then than a Mark Hamill, because he looks very different. Yes. Like, that is very different. That's 40 years of difference. But to have a new scene with Anakin as good Anakin, to explore that, because what I feel sorry for those guys, that the scripts were never good. because George is not the best scriptwriter. He needs other people to help with him on them. He's a good visual, not so good script. So I'd love to see Anakin written in live action with good scripts. How could Hayden deliver that? I think he'd do a great job.
Yeah.
So that's literally almost the reason why I wish he'll. That's why seeing Obi-Wan give him more mature dialogue is fun, because he's doing a really good job with it. It's much more serious, much more real. So I'd like to see something with Anakin. I don't think we're going to get it, because it would kind of... That's why I hope when Obi-Wan dreams, he flashes back to scenes that we have and haven't seen.
Yeah.
Personally. But I mean, I always hope for interconnective tissue. It's expensive and it's hard, but because I don't see how... Because they're crediting Hayden as both Anakin and Vader, but he's Vader. There is no Anakin left, right? And Hayden will not want to be in full dead makeup, like, for every scene. And if he's in the suit, he's not the voice, so he's only doing the physical. I mean, no offense to Mandalorian, but the voice is what gives it the vibe. You know, the physical's good too, but Hayden being in the suit is great and all, but he doesn't need to be in the suit for the performance. So how are we going to get Anakin if not flashbacks and Force connection? Because we have now seen... between Kylo and Rey, the Force talking. So wouldn't it be good to see Force talking between Obi-Wan and Anakin? I'd like to see that. Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
Cool.
And Jonathan Tanner, yes, we do follow, so yeah. Snoopy McQueen, $2. Great episode. Thank you, Snoopy.
Thanks.
Eric Martin, $5. When Leia shows up again, the Inquisitors will really interrogate her father.
Oh god, yeah, that'd be a scene. But I like the connection, though. You know, you served with Obi-Wan, therefore your daughter is fair game. I thought that was quite a clever way of getting them. That was a nice way of doing it. And the fact that Obi-Wan knew to pick up his phone. You know, he still didn't choose to pick it. I was thinking he wasn't going to. Personally, I thought, oh, I liked that he did.
That would have made more sense for him why he showed up later. If he didn't, well, he left a message because that was interesting. Where he's like, "I'm here. I gotta protect the boy," and she's just as important as he is. Smart, you know. But yeah.
And Jasper asks, have we talked about Leia's portrayal? I thought spot on. Yes, we did. And you can scroll back to find screen caps because I'm kind of showing match them as I go. We liked it. Obnoxiously child, but that's because she is. So fine. With some good scenes as well.
Area 51, $5.
Thank you.
Vader. Call me Darth Vader. Owen. Seriously? I'm not calling you that. Vader. Please, come on. It's a cool name.
It's given to you by the Emperor of the Empire. You better do it. Although briefly, while I've got the scene, what do you think of the spice escape?
Well, it was great that when she slipped that thing in his pocket, I'm like, oh yeah, he's going to use that. He's probably going to use it as like a bribe or something later.
Yeah, I thought.
But no, the way that worked out was great. He had the mask. He threw it down, threw the mask on, got out of there, and locked the door. So the guys were pretty messed up. Yeah. Yeah,
it was too easy, but it was very smart. And the fact is, Obi-Wan can't be a fighter anymore. He has to be a smart tactician. So that showed well. Like he had a bit of hand-to-hand fighting, but it's clearly like he wasn't winning. He wasn't like winning super well. He was barely holding his own because he hadn't fought in 10 years. But at least he had muscle memory. He's been training since he was like 4. I mean, he has an entire lifetime. You can't undo that. He was in his 30s, 40s when he was in the other film. So he's got we can't undo that.
Like how he sticks his hand on the one guy's horns. It's like
I don't remember that, but
it was during the fight. He hits him, and then he like I thought it was actually a ploy, but it wasn't. He was holding his hand. The other guy clocked him because he hurt his hand on Darth Maul's brother's horns.
Oh yeah. Now I'm scrolling now. One little detail I liked is that they did a wanted poster, and it's him from episode 3. I thought that was a nice. It's just a press photo because obviously they're not going to use. They don't know what it looks like now. It's just young him. It's kind of fun to see how he looked, like subtly younger but still younger. I thought that was nice. That's his wanted poster from years ago. subtle. I did like the LED wall usage in these scenes, because you don't use it in cities normally. I don't know if I assume you've seen the Batman. I haven't seen it yet, but that is extensively using the LED wall. Their version, like for city stuff, like really weird things you wouldn't expect to be used. Everyone's pushing it in a new direction. Like I haven't seen it, but there's one scene in the Batman where they are in a building that's being constructed, and on the edge of a of that building, and it's entirely LED wall. The cityscape is not green; it's fully real, like fully real projection. And like another scene where he's at dusk and he's looking out again, just projection. So this is projection, and it works. It feels lackluster in the foreground because they haven't got enough extras. But it's really impressive around that. And this used to be green screen, now it's just real. And obviously that's why they always have it with reflective floors, because that's when it pops. Because you can't. The reflections on this green screen are fucking hard. On this, they are literally easy. They just happen. So that's why everything's wet or shiny. That's why all of the interiors in the news are shiny. Which is why Mandalorian's nice when they're not, because it just blends. But then you have to blend. You have to blend the sand in with the fake sand. I like that better, because you have to know what isn't real. Too. This is just, why is everything reflective? It's like in Strange New World, some of the land's like, but why is that floor reflective? Because it shows the depth. It's like, okay. Because they're free reflections.
Because reasons. Guys, we need 9 more people to hit that like button. Still not at 100 yet, so if you haven't hit the like button, please do so.
I forgot I had a poll going. Let me close that. I asked,
yes,
what was your favourite of the catchphrases? Hello there! Wins with a nice 49%. I have the high ground 24%, only Sith Heals and Absolutes 14%, and these are the droids you're looking for. The classic one from New Hope, only 13%. Cool. Makes sense.
Damn. Eric Martin, $5. So do you think that one sister was one of the younglings they showed in the flashback? Yes. Possibly.
It would make sense. That thematically has to be the case. Especially if we see the Grand Inquisitor, who's actually a Jedi at that point, pick her up. But then he's like, "You're scum!" So I don't think that's going to happen. But it would be... Because I've never really connected the Inquisitors to the Jedi, because they're so different.
Yeah.
That link is the thing we always skip past, so they might go...
Well, he does say the Inquisitors are Jedi that turn to the dark side.
But just a connection in your brain. It's like, you can say they are, but what does that even mean in the grand scheme? I'd like to see that. So if we see flashbacks, it'd be kind of fun.
Snoopy McQueen, $5. Like how they show that Ben was afraid to fight with the Force. He lost his confidence in 10 years. Great writing. Not only his confidence, but his connection to the Force is a lot weaker. Like it took a lot of strain to stop Leia from falling. Much more than I expected, actually. The whole time I'm like, help her go across the roof or try to grab her when she's running away from you. But
I kind of waiting for him to have a blood vessel burst, like in his eye. Would have been kind of like harsh, but like that much exertion. Because, yeah, like Ewan is really going for it. Like he clearly had to sit down after that. he was going full on. So I've asked the audience, of the live action 3 shows, which are you enjoying the most so far? Now, obviously, one has 2 seasons, one has 1 season, one has 2 episodes. Hard thing to quantify, but if you had to give a pure I'm vibing it, which of the 3 shows are you vibing the most? If you had to pick. Again, unfair, but it's nice to see Jedis again. Let's be honest. We've kind of walked away from them for a while. I certainly prefer how they're being portrayed here in their 2 hours in the new films. And people have often said, I disagree wholeheartedly, that Star Wars is always just it's so limited as a universe. It's just big super weapon, lightsaber wielding Jedi versus Sith. That's it. But it's like, no, there's all of the other stuff. There's the political, there's the underground, there's the wars, there's all these things. And seeing the Andor trailer, that was political. Like we see the Senate again. Fine. That I don't know what the hell's going on, but I like the political stuff because it's interesting. So I don't like the fact they kind of proved the audience who said that right with the sequels. Like they just rehash with crappier new characters. This is such a nice, let's just look at it. Yes, they are Inquisitors, so you get your lightsabering, but they're not using that as their primary source of anything. Their vibe is I can walk up to you and look you in the face and say, do what I say. They don't need to lightsaber. That's the second tact, which I really liked, actually, how the Asian Inquisitor man was like, No, bounty, not murder. We'll give you money. We won't kill.
Yes.
We won't kill your families. We'll give you money. And she's like,
We won't cut your hands off either.
great,
That's kind of harsh.
great power play.
Yeah.
It's a good introduction and stuff. Oh, it's tricky.
Yeah, I like that character, that the male other Inquisitor guy.
Because he seems more balanced. Because the fact is, they've still got to be a government. You know.
Yeah.
You have to work with people, even if they're scum from their perspective. You need to work with them. So I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But guys, if we can we're about to close out in a few minutes, 5 more likes and $30 more. We're not near our minimum, but Star Wars wouldn't expect it, or even 34 would get us to our low average. So 34, that's 6 5s, 7 5s math, a couple of 10s. Throw us out.
And let us know too in the chat if you want us to cover the rest of the series. I don't know if we'll do it episode by episode, but we will.
Maybe 2.
Do it every 2, sure.
I think they're probably gonna have a story that works.
Yeah.
Rescue in that framework.
That being said, I'll probably be doing first reactions to a lot of these, like on one of my late nights. So check those out. But this week's weird because I'm leaving on Thursday, so we're not sure what's going on with the live schedule for Strange New Worlds and stuff yet.
I'm sure we'll talk about that after this as well. But guys, $35 if you can. It's like 3 5s and 3 10s and a 5. It's not a lot. Or 120 gets us most of the way there. But how excited are you to watch on compared to Boba, The Mandalorian? Because I was interested in Boba Fett, but the vibe, I'm like, yes, I really want to see more. That one, I was just happy to be there for the ride. This, I'm more engaged in, I feel like, already.
Yeah. Now, my excitement level is the same for both of them. I really enjoyed Boba Fett as well.
Yeah.
I am really looking forward to The Mandalorian, though. But, yeah, this one has got a great story. And I love watching Ewan McGregor do his thing. He's such a great actor, so...
Yeah, this benefits from you like Obi-Wan more than you like Tamora as Boba Fett. Not to his fault, because he's trying to be a good guy from a bad guy. It's a very hard reversal to do. It's very tricky.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Mandalorian is just such a gripping story, I guess. Plus they're all good episodes as well.
Fleet Paw throws in $5. Have a $5. Happy early birthday, Samuel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Sam's birthday is on June 7th.
Keep forgetting that soon, yeah. And we will do a Trekyards live after my Convergence filming, which I'm doing. I'll talk about that briefly. Yes, we're finally, those who have been following my Trek films since 2018, I believe, we crowdfunded to do a crossover film, which we lovingly called The Avengers, because we're bringing people together. We filmed half, we had a date booked, then COVID happened, and it's international. We just put a pin in it. I did Trek shorts instead of, while we could do it with a UK cast. And we're trying to reorganise for Convergence. We almost did it last year, but COVID, the Omega thing, started up again. What Epsilon? No, mate, what was it?
Omicron.
Thank you. Oh, God, I was totally wrong. Okay, thanks. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. But then finally, that's kind of come to a close, especially in the UK. We're doing, like, all of our rates are just plummeting to, like, super low. It's, wonderful. But since that time, we had one cast member just can't come, he's too busy, okay, and other cast members actually retired from acting in between. I mean, it's been a couple of years, I don't blame them. And so when you lose 3 of your cast, you can't use the footage because they're in the whole rest of the film. So I had to rewrite the entire thing and start again. Same story, 3 of the same characters, sameness, just swapping things around a bit. But it's going to be a really good film. We've got a 4-day shoot happening. 4 full days, all the expenses. It's an expensive shoot, as you can imagine. Every actor on one day, including the side actors, they're going to be popping in for a half a day each to kind of meet the rest of the cast, because we've all done a lot of stuff together. So that's exciting. And yeah, finally filming that on June the 10th to 13th. So it'll be birthday on the 7th, couple of days of stress, then filming where you can't be stressed because you're too busy doing. And I get to have a great cast photo of everybody in costume together, like the nice press photos. You'll see all the full cast. And we announced in our update video, I guess I released 2 days ago, that we officially have Marcus Churchill from Temporarily and the Trek shorts coming in to be our future captain. So he's from an alternate / well, we want to change it future. It's an alternate till you change it, so from the future. And to replace Robin Hirt, we've got Alexa, who is from The Holy Core, which was Gary O'Brien's film who we've had on this channel, and she's done a very good job subbing in. Luckily, similar character to a certain extent, enough to kind of, have a similar role structure in the film, just obviously change the dialogue. So very excited for that to happen and finally get that, past our, because it's not our fault the world shut down. So I'm happy to finally get filming that and then finish the rest of the Trek shorts and then release stuff over the next couple of years. Do another Indiegogo soon to kind of cover the over budget, as Stuart knows, the heavy over budget. However you guys can help, but we've got some really amazing stuff to show. Other cool things happening. Cool things.
Fancy.
Other cool things happening. Of various things, definitely worth your support. So, yeah. One more like.
I am Misi, $35 super chat. Thank you so much. Thanks for covering these. The more, the better. Yes, Corey says yes to the series. So, and Stanley's asked, doesn't Orville start this week? Does this Orville start this week or next? It starts on the 5th of June. So, yeah. Yeah.
But those that were there for that, you guys didn't tune in. And without you guys tuning in to show support, we can't do them. So we did I think 4 in a row, as in 4, and then you guys really came out and gave us confidence. Then we did more, and you didn't come out until the last one. So, it's tricky, but I'm sure we'll do at least sort of in a bank of episodes. Because that was quite fun last time. Because Trek, you can debate, discuss, theorize the universe, same as Star Wars, but you can't for Orville because it's a much more small universe. So I'm doing like 3 in a row or something. Don't know how many episodes there are. There's not that many, but something forward to it.
They're all like way over an hour each episode. So
I mean, I'm tempted to rewatch the seasons, but I have 0 time because I feel like I've forgotten more than I remember. Because they were a long time ago, Stuart.
In a galaxy far, far away. Wait a minute.
Same galaxy. No, same galaxy. But I'm excited. Like they've obviously upped the scope. I really hope it's not the last of it, because I'd be so sad to go out on a high. I'd rather them go out on a deliberate end of. But I'm sure they've probably doubled the budget they spent. I'm sure they easily double spent whatever they initially planned. So, yeah.
Area 51, $5.
Thank you.
Go with me on this. What if we pretended this was new Trek, but in an alternate universe and be fully happy? Grasping at straws, but hey.
Straws are grasped. Straws are grasped.
Now back to the poll. We have 41 votes. So which show do you prefer overall so far? Mandalorian is winning with 65%. Boba Fett has 6%. And coming in the number 2 spot is Obi-Wan, 29%.
Wow.
We'll have to wait and see after Obi-Wan what you guys think, because it's kind of hard to tell with 2 episodes. So.
But I'm enjoying the vibe. I like the slow pace. I like the gentle build. It would have been so much worse as a movie. It's nice to just build. Mm-hmm. But I definitely want more than one season. Like, it'd be a shame to lose it on one. Because, if you don't get him back, you might never get Ewan back. And I want to see him back, even though I'm still seeing him. It's like we should have got Patrick back 10 years ago. Who'd have been slightly more vocal 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Or, they should Mark Hamill back 20 years ago. Thanks.
They should do a series of short Star Wars and call them skirmishes. Instead of short wars, they're skirmishes.
See, I thought
I'd
you
be
were
down.
making a joke, and then
I'd be down for this.
Are you making a joke on Trek shorts or short tracks? And
yes.
Yes, you were.
Well, short war is just a little skirmish. That's all I'm saying.
That's good. Well done, Stuart. You're a funny, smart man.
I'm one of those things.
You're
yes.
a credit to what we do here.
Credit to the uniform.
Oh, Ozzy says it's June 1st. Orville starts.
No, it's not. It's June 5th.
June 2nd on this one.
June 2nd, eh?
First episode, June 2nd, Electric Sheep.
It's Thursday. Wow, I thought it was the Sunday.
That might be the TV. You might have a TV show, whereas we have online
Stream.
only. Yeah.
Yes.
And it is my birthday weekend. I've been told by Marie I shouldn't do lives, but I told Marie, yeah, but we want to have money to pay for the things we're doing for my birthday, babe. So if I need to do lives, then that's just what you gotta do. Because
Well, I'll be doing lives from Wonderfest, but the Wonderfest lives of the model floor and stuff. I don't know about filming and being able to get the episode and watch it and get the screen caps. I don't know how that's.
well, screen caps is never gonna happen, Stuart. Don't even think about that one.
Yeah.
It's more just the talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
We will
We'll figure it out.
But I have told Stuart that worst comes to worst, I will just review it myself. We did do that once. We did 2 separate reviews. Neither was good, but that's not the point. That's the way to do.
At least they're talking about it and people show up and
Yes.
support. So.
And that'll be a way of having both reviews out. It depends. It's only so many nights. You can't. If it's one a night, there's only so many you can do anyway. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for turning up. Appreciate your Star Wars love. Hopefully, you guys will join in for episodes 3 and 4 of this Star Wars saga. To it very soon for episode 3. I'm excited. I want it now. Now!
I want it now.
And my way, which means adding Hayden as Anakin and flashbacks. Anyway.
And on that note, guys, I think we'll call it there. So thank you so much for watching. Look for us a few times this week, and then, I don't know. We'll see what's happening. So, until then, he's Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley.
I'm Grand Inquisitor Foley. Sorry, your second brother, Cockings. I don't know if that works. But anyway, on that note.